the answer to every single question we ask, that the supply really is the root of all of the problems. Like if we had the supply, we don't have the appointment issues. We don't have a number of the other complex issues with cutting out PCPs, some of the things that we've done stories on. The supply went up significantly this week. Can you talk about that and if you expect that to continue moving forward?
I do. I think we're seeing a really positive trend here with supply, and there's no question we're still sort of at an interim period where we're transitioning to a new strategic plan, which I think will also improve the allocation. And so I think folks in our communities are going to see an improvement as the supply increases, as we shift towards our new allocation model as part of the strategic plan. I think communication will improve. I am certainly not going to say supply was the only problem here. As I've come on the task force and I look at where we are at, I absolutely believe we are turning a page. We're making dramatic improvements, but we were not doing well for an extensive period of time. There was a significant communication breakdown with the broader public, significant communication failures between the Department of Health and providers. We're working to improve that. We're working to improve the allocation model. So I think we will see improvement. We are still in an interim period, still working through the smoothing over between the first and second dose issue that arose last week with Moderna. And that's going to play out over the next couple of weeks. We had the supply issues as a result of weather last week, but we are seeing improvement in real time. And I think that's going to dramatically improve the next couple of weeks with anticipated increases in supply from Moderna, Pfizer, and with Johnson & Johnson potentially coming online in the very near future.
Yeah, can you talk about kind of the strategic model for getting these shots, these doses administered? Because what we're hearing from PCPs and pharmacies even is that there's kind of like this move away from a lot of like the little smaller groups and trying to focus more on mass vaccination moving forward. Is that happening because you're going to see the supply improve? Or, I mean, because I know that the overall goal there in doing that was to improve speed. I know there's still some lingering concern. How are you addressing that?
Yeah, so certainly it is in the near term to improve the speed, to improve the effectiveness and the efficiency, and the mass vaccination sites certainly are a way to do that. But I think the task force certainly also recognizes, I also recognize, that the mass vaccination sites are not the only solution, that the providers on the front lines, our pharmacies are going to continue to play an important role. We have to do a better job at getting vaccination out to our independent living facilities that are co-located with nursing facilities. So getting vaccinations to folks that aren't in skilled care, they've got the site, they've got the staff, they've got the parking. There's no need to take those folks from a healthy, secure environment to a mass vaccination site. So there are multiple touch points here for residents. I think in the near term, we were looking to drive out in a more rapid, efficient, effective manner the supply that we did have. But as the supply increases, sort of this contraction that you're seeing with vaccination locations, that's going to expand in my view.
Yeah, so we could get back to seeing PCPs on the front lines again.
That's right. I think when you're looking at the importance of equity, when you're looking at trying to reach folks in their community, when you're looking at reaching folks in rural communities, I think those primary care physicians, the pharmacies need to play a critical role, and they will. But again, as we've had some of the challenges with supply and the need to get vaccination in arms as rapidly, efficiently, effectively as possible, the mass vaccination sites are certainly a way to do that. Get that first vaccination in 80% in 7 days is a metric that I'm sure you've heard the Department of Health talk about, and then ensure we stay on the Operation Warp Speed timeline with respect to the second vaccination. But certainly our primary care physicians, our pharmacies, as we see supply increase, I believe need to play an important role in our plan.
Yeah, and okay, so the next big game changer is Johnson & Johnson. What are you hearing? What do you think in terms of when that's really going to turn the tide here? Because it does, I get the sense through talking with the PA Pharmacists Association that they really believe that is going to be the game changer.
I think no question. We're hearing that we're likely to see the necessary approvals in place and the federal government making the allocation of Johnson & Johnson over the next couple of weeks. We're anticipating that. I think it's fair to say certainly within the next month. I think so. You add the increased manufacturing capability and the increase in allocation that's coming from Moderna and Pfizer, and then you add Johnson & Johnson, which is, as I'm sure you talked about, it's a one-shot vaccination. We think that's coming online very, very soon. No question, that's a game change.